Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to the stream, everybody. Yeah. Thank you for watching. We will begin the show shortly. Let me hit play. There I am. Hello, everybody. Just hitting play. Just hitting play. Yeah. How's everybody doing? Did you get enough turkey? Oh, welcome to Sony Handycam. Oh my god. Okay, let's just get on with the show here, okay? Alright, let's do it. Let's do this.
Welcome to the Fortress of Louisbourg in the colony of Ile Royale. As foreign visitors, we ask you not to make any maps or drawings of the harborfront or fortifications. Firearms are to be left here with the sentry. Gentlemen of quality are permitted to wear their swords. Sentinelle, laissez passer.
Walking into the Fortress of Louisbourg is like stepping through time to the year 1744. The buildings you see are
Golf is too important a game to take it seriously. That's why golfing's fun for those who know how to enjoy it.
All aboard for Pikesville, Hicksville, Greenville, Greentown, Greentown, Goldball, understand English.
But Mr. Conductor...
Board!
The construction of the Welland Canal, linking Lake Ontario with Lake Erie.
Class dismissed.
Moody Science.
But it's worth it, because during the 4 months that I'm here, I can make up to 300 livres per year, which is much more money than I would be making over in France at the time for the whole year.
There were many days when Catholics were prohibited from eating meat. As a result, France's demand for
Ready today to perform for...
Now, if you've ever seen a dry cod, it doesn't look very appetizing, but all you have to do is peel the skin off, soak it overnight in fresh water.
This...
Slide be really different bound off of a
Hermits.
you all have that something that easy.
All tickets. Your ticket.
Why, yes, sir. Sure.
100 soldiers lived here.
1875 and completed in 1887. Like the
No ticket, huh?
Or this. That's right. This is an acorn. And, of course, these are steaks. For these. Hello. Much the acorn. Every living creature has a need for food. But different animals like different things. What they like and how they get it make for a very interesting study. The Creator has given his creatures an almost endless variety of likes and dislikes and ways to get food.
Jack Lemmon, the Academy Award-winning actor and champion of the Frustrated Golfers of America.
All I hope we can get. We're going to make. It's my year. Ben Crenshaw told me last night. He crossed.
Ideal walking shoes.
I trust.
But just.
I just feel better. I think I'm capable of hitting the ball better until those bloody cameras come up on me. They wait, you know. They wait. You're sure, Frank.
Dig.
If they wait, there's a 7-second. And they wait until I miss. They don't want to show the good ones. And everybody's waiting. Here comes Lemon. Chili dipped it.
He trapped.
Look, Mr. Conductor, the ticket was in my other stocking all the time.
Let me see that. Fish hook? Where's that?
At the end of the line.
Fish hook? At the end of the line? Hey, that's pretty good. Fish hook at the end of the line. Huh? At the end of the line? With you?
Whether you're a touring or a movie star, and addicted, once you
to live on a pure diet,
that little white.
Flows into the lock by gravity. No pumps of any kind are used.
Planned on Louisbourg.
Water supply of the
but certainly some of the decisions that were taken, particularly in the early days of the siege,
with each holding about 90.
Anyway, that the French were basically anticipating this to be a raid.
Ship arrestor. This steel cable across the lock prevents ships from crashing into the gates. The tragedy in Lot 22 in 1912 occurred on the third canal when the Le Canadien cracked.
Is sprung, the spider senses its victim's struggle to escape and immediately rushes out to subdue its prey.
To aid in the defense, the women and children were basically told to hide in temporary shelters in the woods. And throughout the siege, New England scouting parties are bringing in prisoners that they find in the woods surrounding Louisbourg and the immediate outports. The second is when they abandoned the Royal Battery, the French only spiked the cannons rather than destroying them. And there's a lot of criticism that they didn't spike them properly.
Eventually, the island battery at the mouth of the harbor was silenced. The crumbling walls of the fortress and the outnumbered garrison were no defense against the pounding of English artillery, and it soon surrendered. But in 1748, the British government traded Louisbourg back to France. Soon, the garrison swelled to 3,500 soldiers and 400 militia. Most of the former citizens returned. Once again, Louisbourg was a thriving settlement. By the mid-1750s, the struggle for control of North America had intensified. In 1758,
are found on every ship. On the bow, the ship's name appears. This mark means the ship has a bulbous bow extending forward. Here we see the draft marks indicating under all water conditions.
Her forms her bolus by rolling up a ball of sticky silk, which she hangs from the end of a strong, slender line. She then pulls herself up to a vantage point, catches hold of the bolus, and prepares to cast it at the first insect that comes within range. Let's dangle a tasty morsel in front of her and see what happens. A flurry of activity always follows a catch, and for a while, it's hard to tell who's winning. But the moth doesn't really stand a chance. The spider makes use of a pair of built-in hypodermic needles to put her victim to sleep. Yes, the spider is truly an amazing creature. Yet we have hardly begun to discover the many different types of skills it possesses. Each day we see doors of every purpose, shape, and size. But none of them is as or made long before of the idea. Of course, this door isn't easy to see, but that's part of the plan. The camouflage gives real protection to the trapdoor spider. Snugly fitted. Spider is a skillful engineer that has never seen a drawing board or ruler. Yet when the need for building a home arises, excavation proceedings get underway immediately.
We need to live in Louisbourg, but at a very much reduced scale. So it doesn't have the development on top of it. It doesn't have subways and because of that, the archaeological remains are virtually on the surface of the ground.
The French were meticulous record keepers, so there's also a wealth of written documentation about the fortress. When combined with information gathered by archaeologists, the documents and 18th century antiques give Louisbourg curators the knowledge they need to make reproductions so accurate they are almost indistinguishable from the real thing.
In unison.
Probably feels just perfect.
I tell you what's nice, Charlie, there's no alligators here in Palm Springs.
And when this
The skin of the
there will be a smooth coating of
Not only does it protect the animal, the amazing cell structure of the skin lets the reptile change color at a moment.
Any kind of weather,
These baby chameleons are just a few hours old, and already they're on their own, making use of all the Creator has given them. From the tiny ball-turret eyes to the feet, the lasso tongue, and the tail. Imagine something like this happen. Himself.
Homer Bridge.
A grasshopper is a giant compared to the baby.
But somehow, as in the case, for instance, there should be no ceramics. You know, we again in the 18th century they used glazes that invariably contained a lot of lead.
Freckles on your chin, always in and out.
Become one with the bull.
No mutts allowed in this show.
Yes! Yes!
Ever notice how professional baseball and football players have an But McGuire's still a hacker, and he knows he'll never make the move from the Oakland A's to the...
What this game's about.
It's on the canal, some of which are self-unloading. The ships of today would dwarf their predecessors.
Obviously.
Get back.
If he lives that long.
I miss it at all. I'm glad to be out actually, and I'm relatively healthy, so I'm looking forward to going on and doing something else.
But it really works. Whenever a danger comes near, the camera shoots out a couple of orange gadgets that fill the air with a strong odor. So strong, in fact, it has earned the creature the nickname skunk of the insect world. As a caterpillar, he pulls himself along by 8 pairs of legs. The first 3 pairs are jointed. The others are just temporary and will soon be lost. After several weeks of stuffing himself, the caterpillar is ready for that big event we were talking about. The spinning of a silken loop is an important preparation. Here again, we see how the Creator provides for living things. Unknown to the caterpillar, in just a few days, this simple-looking cord Caterpillar performs a neat bit of gymnastics and ducks his head through the loop. He adjusts his life belt one last time and then hangs quietly for several days. It may look like he's given up, but this is just a rest period before something else mysterious happens. First, his extra...
A difficult 25-foot eagle putt. And a seventh play, the legendary opponent.
It's not a butterfly, doesn't he?
Making final winning, he pictured
actually
as the...
The way these colors blend into the background isn't by chance either. It's deliberate camouflage, part of the survival system. The caterpillars forming these chrysalids are all of the same type, the anise swallowtail. Lived under identical conditions, except for one difference. They were placed on different colored sticks just before entering the chrysalis stage. At first, an emerging chrysalis may not bear any resemblance to its environment. Yet almost immediately, there's a color change that matches perfectly with the surroundings. This camouflage is the only protection the insect has during the 2 weeks it hangs quietly, waiting for its day of freedom. When that day finally arrives, there's a few moments of jerking and twisting again, and then
The unplayable liars know how to use a putter. You tee off with it.
Forge, you're surrounded by the smells, sights, and sounds.
And now ask yourself, what can we learn about ourselves from the butterfly? Does God have a plan for us?
The Welland Canal operates till mid-December and reopens in April. However, the activity does not stop. Each winter, millions of dollars are spent on safety and maintaining
These are not unusual in other sports. The Cal Ripkens and the junior and senior. The golden acting like pop-up.
Chickens, ducks,
A lot of the meat would also be imported salted. Property owners would keep small animals in their backyards. A lot of the larger animals, such as cattle, would be grazed outside the walls.
Well, let's start with the lower class meal. The lower class would have been very grateful for whatever they got. For instance, the soldiers were often known to walk along the shoreline and pick up the heads of the codfish and put them in a bucket, take them back to the barracks and stew them with whatever they could gather. Put the pot in the center of the table. They would might have an individual spoon, might not, and spoon it out. So we would go from that to a middle class meal, where they would have more of a variety of food. It might be a one-pot meal, but they would have bread and cheese, during the proper season, fruit as well. And of course, the person in the house, whether it be the servant or the mistress of the household, would probably have a dessert made, so forth. So that's the kind of thing. So as you got higher, the higher in class that you went, the more elaborate the meal became. If you went to the governor's wing now, you'd have a number of courses. He sets the standard for the community.
Mary is a servant in the engineer's house.
I'm sort of a maid of all work, so I have other chores to do around the household. Once the master or mistress is up, if I'm very talented, I might dress the mistress's hair. I would prepare clothing. I would dust off the clothes and make sure they looked clean and maybe
Existence. The body has a chemical plant, far more intricate than any man has ever built.
What the heck happened to it?
While one of the lemons is searching, the other lemon is scrambling. Will find its hole.
Lem. That's my dad.
Dad has all the answers.
How about
Also, yardage.
a little edge here? What do you think? What's the yardage from here? I don't know.
Never mind the distance. It's the closeness that makes Lemon and Lemon a special team.
Great looking shot. Great looking shot.
This part of us, which is like a remarkable furnace, helps to keep us warm in winter. Why will sometimes actually overheat. When this occurs, the body's own cooling system takes over. Drops of perspiration pour from millions of tiny sweat glands in the skin.
Si la cigale y dort, ne faut pas la blesser. Le chant du rossignol la viendra réveiller. Un an, trois, entrez dans la danse. Voyez comme on danse. Sautez, dansez, embrassez qui vous voudrez. Hey! C'est beau, c'est beau. Formidable, non?
Whether you were a servant or an upper-class lady, the Fortress of Louisbourg had a thriving social life.
Information that controls our every action, right down to the flicker of an eyelid. In most computer systems, information is carried by wires and electronic parts. In the body, nerves are the wires that carry information back and forth from the brain. And in marvelous structure, the human eye. Modern cameras operate on the same basic principle as our eyes. Like the eye, the camera has a lens
And like France
that is coming in. If we focus the camera on an object and then change the distance between the camera and the object, the image blurs, and we must focus the lens again. This focusing has to be done by hand. But in your eye, the focusing is all done automatically. Strong muscles change the focus thousands of times every day, and we never even give it a thought. The opening in the front of the camera is called the iris. It opens and closes, controlling the amount of light that enters the camera. The camera's iris gets its name from the iris of our eye. The eye's iris operates automatically to adjust for different amounts of light. The less light, the wider the iris opens, and the more light, the smaller it becomes. Now, the pictures the eye gives us are not black and white. They're color pictures. And they're not stills, they're motion pictures. And they're not silent. They're sound pictures. Do you realize that the sound you hear is being played again on a perfect little musical instrument inside your ear? The piano is really just producing sound waves. And when these waves reach our brain, as the keys are struck, felt hammers hit the string. Each pulsating string sets the air around it vibrating in the same way. Vibrations or waves in the air are picked up by the outer ear, go down the auditory canal, and are carried by the bones of the middle ear to the cochlea, which is all rolled up like a tiny seashell. If the cochlea could be stretched out, we would discover an instrument something like the piano, except it is much...
A creature that has performed engineering wonders since the beginning of time. Obviously, the designer of this bridge wasn't a beginner, nor were its builders able to carry out their work without special training and equipment. But the craftsman of this beautiful design was only a few weeks old as she worked alone, using only the tools and special knowledge.
His ball, gonna buy a bowling ball.
Exact leverage needed. 3 tiny bones, called the ossicles, are just right to do the job that enables us to hear properly.
That's why golfing's fun, for those who know how to enjoy it.
Is the fact that their size does not change from the time you are born.
Almost invisible, yet
the ossicles of an
steel
adult
of equal
and
size.
a child are the same size.
This special rope is manufactured
As
from
you
silk
grow and
glands
develop-
inside her body. 6 spinnerets located at the tip of her abdomen release 5 different kinds of liquid from 3,600 holes. She can spin at will a single strand, a heavy cable, or a broad band. Under her careful control, the silk may
Detectors
be
known to man.
elastic, sticky, or
Capable of
non-sticky,
hearing the roar of a jet or the rustle of leaves. And with the help of the right instruments, we can even hear the beating of a
Precedent in
human
Upper
heart.
Canada. On November 30th, 1824, the first sod was turned.
Her web, the spider first throws out a strong but narrow bridge.
Of miles of blood vessels. Blood that carries food and oxygen to every part of the body. The heart pumps an average of 12 pints of blood every minute.
She lays
And fill more than 40 50-gallon drums. During a lifetime, it will pump enough blood to long and beat 2 1/2.
Combined work of hundreds of engineers and many months or even years of planning. But the Spider's achievements are accomplished without any previous training or blueprints from which to work. While waiting for some juicy morsel to blunder into its trap, the spider will often position itself in the center of the web. When the trap is sprung, the spider senses its victim's struggle to escape and immediately rushes out to subdue its prey, carefully packaging it up for a future meal. Now perhaps you're wondering how the spider avoids being caught in it.
Is it so complex, so efficiently designed to just happen? Could a watch just come together like it is? Well, of course not. We all know that a watchmaker has to be involved. The human body is much more complex than anything ever made by man. Is
He's the Crown Prince of golfing.
You would say relax.
Jack Lemmon, the Academy Award-winning actor and champion of the frustrated golfers of America.
We need all the help we can get. We're going to make it this year, though. It's my year. Ben Crenshaw told me last.
Having made this super nursery, insulated, waterproof, and finished with the richest silk, satin, and floss blankets, the spider has completed her life's work and soon dies. Before long, the little ones emerge from their cushioned comfort and, without being taught, will immediately begin building miniature webs of exquisite beauty. You see, there's this certain fat, rather ugly-looking little creature known as the bolus spider. The word bolus refers to a kind of rope used by cowboys in the country of Argentina. But long before the days of the cowboy, this little spider was making good use of a bolus all her own.
All right, everybody. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Was that fun or what? Wow. Craziness on the video. Just wanted to check in, a little intermission. I know I'm a little late. It's 39 minutes in. Usually I like to do this at the 30-minute mark, but I got a little carried away, you know. Glitching, no bitching. That's what we say in the biz, eh? Glitching, no bitching. So that's what I'm doing here. Look at that. Oh, we got the purple going on. Yeah. Welcome. If you are just joining us, welcome to the stream. I don't know what else to tell you. We got some weird stuff going tonight. Got some weird stuff going on. Silent films. There you go. All right, back to the show here. Ooh.
the best they can with what they have to work with. Take Fuzzy Zeller, an absolute master of the impossible lie. Listen to this one.
I might make that one. Oh, no.
Thank you. Did you get that one?
Go, shoot where the hole is up there. It's that far. I think they'll give that. Will y'all give that to me? Thank you very much.
Not everyone duffs their drives. The ladies of
cookie. That's a very bad sign.
From the back of the green.
But all it takes is a little lapse in concentration, and you end up in the water. I think she's gonna cry. What's this woman doing in the third round of a golf tournament?
You may grow up to be a mule. Okay, Lulu, leave us make wood efficient.
But Catherine Young wasn't the only one whose ball found a watery grave.
For this. That's right. This is an acorn. And, of course, these are steaks. Now,
He is in constant communication with the traffic control center. With the aid of computer-assisted instruments and closed-circuit television cameras placed along the entire length of the canal for safe and efficient passage.
That water's cold.
Probably feels just perfect.
I tell you what's nice, Charlie, there's no alligators here in Palm Springs.
Speaking of water, ever notice how golfers will play in any kind of weather? They'll play Pebble Beach.
creature appears to have a tail on both ends. It's an anteater, a name that gives away the secret to his... claws make less than ideal walking shoes, but they're an old tree stump low.
Do anything but swim in a brook. He can't write his name or read a book. To fool all the people. And though he's slippery, he still gets caught. But then if that's what you wish.
Decides to dine on... the anteater, a remarkable animal given just the right tools to live on a pure diet. Head. Dr. Raymond Coles and Dr. Theodore Bullock of the University of California at Los Angeles have contributed much to the world's knowledge of this strange phenomenon. The method used to obtain this information is unique and interesting. First, Dr. Coles milks the rattler of its venom. Then Dr. Bullock puts the reptile to sleep. The snake is actually blindfolded to cut off all visible light. Platinum electrodes are connected to the nerves in the pit organ so the scientist can intercept the signals flashed to the snake's brain.
To facing down 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, but he also knows the pressure of staring down the fairway. The same power that can send a baseball more than 400 feet can send a one-iron more than 280 yards. But McGuire's still a hacker, and he knows he'll never make the move from the Oakland A's to the PGA.
I'm having fun. That's what this game's about.
Weekdays or weekends, you'll find the golf course from rough to the bunkers inhabited by major league sluggers, like New York batting champ George Brett.
Like turning on a spotlight of infrared rays. A piece of heat-absorbing glass cuts off.
Or how about
such as Abbey, Beatty, Muir, Scicluna, and Simpson also practiced their trade along HMCS Terra Nova arrived at Port Weller for a $25 million. Work now consists mainly of repair and refitting of vessels. From the fleet of Algoma Central Marine, the Henry John. Once.
Ladies and gentlemen, the grand finale!
Removed. These units, weighing up to 100 tons, were lowered individually through the access into the ship and transported to their location in the hull by the trolley built within the ship. As more of the new sections came into place and the side panels were installed.
Chameleon is the only animal in the world that can lasso its food more than a body's length away without moving anything but its tongue. The eyes are of unique design. A close look shows they're mounted in ball turrets. Each eye is able to rotate independently of the other. One eye watches out for an enemy, while the other searches for food. When the prey is sighted, both eyes can work in unison, thus improving the aim of the tongue.
If it's not turned...
Award the grand prize to this most magnificent specimen, this beautiful...
Ever.
Just helps himself. Even a grasshopper is a giant compared to the baby chameleon. But size is no consideration. Maybe the chameleon knows somehow that one of these days, a towering insect will be little more than a bite to eat. Everywhere in
the whole basis of the economy, because fish could be dry.
Of bulk cargo such as grain, iron ore, and coal.
For equipment.
Give just one more demonstration.
The unplayable liars know how to use a putter. You tee off with it, don't you?
Wanted about him for years. Jack Nicklaus wants him, but see, I own him and he's my buddy.
All kinds of soft drinks. Get your soft drinks, Ed.
exclusive summer... its name. It's called the anise swallowtail because it usually lays its eggs on the wild anise plant. These eggs are so small, it takes a magnifying glass.
The canal operates till mid-December and reopens in April. However, the activity...
It's just a little bit, leaving behind a few molecules of the minerals absorbed from the earth. As time goes by, the resulting crystals form stalactites, which hang from above. But speaking of treasure, look at this. Oh, you probably think that I mean the hamburgers. But how about the salt, sodium chloride? One tiny grain is composed of billions upon billions of particles so small that if we put 1 million of them in a pile, we couldn't even see the pile, not even with a microscope.
What a difference, and all because of an enormous appetite.
Little particles are breaking away from the salt and mixing with the water as the salt grain disappears.
From New England, supported by the British Navy, attacked the Fortress of Louisbourg.
It doesn't do much for your garden, but the caterpillar does have a good reason for the appetite. You see, he has to store up as much food as possible for something big that will happen to him in the next stage of his life. That is, if he lives that long. So while he's in this form, he needs protection from birds and other hungry creatures. How does he do it? Well, he's not very fast. Certainly not ferocious. But the Creator did provide an effective defense mechanism. Simple, but it really works. Whenever danger comes near, the caterpillar shoots out a couple of orange gadgets that fill the air with a strong odor. So strong, in fact, it has earned the creature the nickname skunk of the insect world. As a caterpillar, he pulls himself along by 8 pairs of legs. The first 3 pairs are jointed. Others are just temporary and will soon be lost. After several weeks of stuffing himself,
Holy moly!
for the event we about.
He can't put. He's a hacker. He's a hacker.
Once finished, a bit of gymnastics.
Job! Backfield round. Ground shakers take the biggest divots in town. I once saw a hacker take a divot that weighed 3 pounds. 'Cause he's a hacker. He's a hacker. And everybody wants to be a worm burning, chili dipping, 3-punt hacker like me. A hacker likes to drink and drive. Better find a tree and from
Caterpillar. What you see is called a chrysalis, sort of a dressing room a caterpillar uses while changing into an adult butterfly. As the old skin is shaken off, We have a moment to think about the change. Done it before. He's never even seen another caterpillar do it. And yet, he does exactly the right thing.
Everybody wants to be.
And they're all different because the molecules from which they form are different.
This camouflage is the only protection the insect has during the 2 weeks it hangs quietly, waiting for its day of freedom. When that day finally arrives, there's a few moments of jerking and twisting again.
Or shining stars in the heavens above. God's creation is filled with treasures everywhere we look.
The way. And now ask yourself, what can we learn about ourselves from the butterfly? Does God have a plan for us? We live in a wonderful world, and the wonder of all is man himself. His body is a marvelous machine, precise and efficient. The human body has a dynamic and mobile framework of bone
that we stand today.
A skeleton fitted together so perfectly, shamed the finest of man-made structures. For unlike the steel framework of a building, the human skeleton is flexible. It has hinges and joints that were made to move.
People eat from.
In order to cut down harmful friction, such moving parts must be lubricated.
Last time you'll cause me any trouble.
Like fluid in exactly the right amount at every place it is needed. Yes, the body is a wonderful. The hand, for example, is perhaps the most useful tool ever designed. It's true, man has made a mechanical hand that can perform such tasks as handling small containers of radioactive material, but that hand cannot perform an operation or paint a picture.
Look, Mr. Conductor, the ticket was in my other stocking.
Where's that?
The line.
Fish hook at the end of the line. Hey, that's pretty good. Fish hook at the end of the line. Huh? At the end of the line?
Wood, the clothing, the food, down to when we were setting up the restaurant, I remember, what were we going to feed the people? Well,
A, consult every book you can find. B,
Damaged by accident or disease. The food we eat is changed into power for work and play. As this fuel is burned in the body's living furnace, energy is set free to drive the body machine. This part of us, which is like a remarkable furnace, helps to keep us warm in winter. Why, even in freezing weather, our bodies will sometimes actually overheat. When this occurs, the body's own cooling system takes over. Drops of perspiration pour from millions of tiny sweat glands in the skin. With the help of this perspiration, the body's cooling system can keep our temperatures from rising for a limited time, even in heat that will fry a steak. The human body has an automatic thermostat that regulates both our heating and our cooling systems, keeping body temperature at about 98.6 degrees, except when a higher...
Okay, everybody. That concludes our session for tonight. Thank you for watching. It was a fun one, not gonna lie. Yeah. A very weird mix of stuff. Anyways, I am gonna land the plane on this broadcast. Thank you for watching, everybody. We're gonna end on purple. Yeah. Fade, give me a fade. There it is. We're just gonna end on a little bit of static too. A little bit of static on purple. Here we go. Yeah, just like that. Okay. Have a good night, everybody, and thank you for watching again. Supporting these streams is I'm a lucky man. Got 3 viewers tonight, so that was amazing. Where are we going? Higher! That's a Saskatchewan joke. Tell Miracle. Anyways, yeah. Have a good night, everybody.